Oral history is the gathering of living people's first-person testimony of their own life experiences. Now, we all have stories to tell. You live long enough, you'll have volumes.
So I was appointed, and that's a matter of record, by the way. The first Negro appointed in Manhattan. I was sworn into the New York City Police Department on March 6th, 1911. I'll never forget that day. Never.
That's Samuel Jesse Battle. He's just one of many African Americans who've made major contributions to this country and yet have become largely forgotten with the passage of time. Early in his career, Officer Battle was regularly pointed out by tour guides as New York's first colored policeman.
The day I was appointed, there was no problem, but as I left headquarters, the commissioner himself stopped me.
Officer Battle, I'd like to have a word with you.
Yes, sir.
I won't keep you, Battle. I just wanted to talk to you and tell you personally how very proud I am that you're a New York City policeman.
Thank you, sir. That's very kind of you to say so.
Not at all, not at all. I'm sure that there are more than a few people around here that are very glad that you're here. Now, I hope you know that there will be some difficulties at first, but I know you'll overcome them.
I'll do my best, sir.
Glad to hear it. But if any problems do arise, feel free to bring them to my attention.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, I've kept you long enough. Go home, Officer Battle. Go home and celebrate. Samuel Jesse Battle was born January 16, 1883, in New Bern, North Carolina, to parents who were among the last generation born into slavery. Everything about Samuel was big. He had big hopes, big dreams. Why, even his very birth was big. Because at 16 pounds, Samuel quickly became noticeable in New Bern, earning the title of the biggest baby ever recorded in the state of North Carolina. But it was as a teenager that his need for bigger thrills got the better of him. One day, he was caught stealing cash from a safe belonging to his boss, a prominent landlord named R.H. Smith. Now, Smith wanted to press charges, claiming, "Mark my words, within a year, that young man will be in prison." And he might well have been, if it hadn't been for the fact that R.H. Smith was a friend of Samuel's father, a Methodist minister, who managed to talk him out of locking up his son. In a 1960 interview with Samuel Battle, conducted by the Columbia University Oral History Office, just 6 years before he died, Battle exclaimed,
"That was the turning point of my life. I said to my father, from this day on, I shall always be honest and honorable. And I'm going to make Mr. Smith out a liar."
On June 28, 1911, the 6'3", 285-pound, 28-year-old made good on his promise. Samuel Battle becomes the very first black person appointed to the New York City Police Force. In 1926, he would go on to become the first black sergeant. In 1935, the first black lieutenant. And in 1941, New York City's first black parole commissioner. Battle's first assignment as a patrolman was in the San Juan Hill neighborhood. For those of you familiar with New York City, it's where Lincoln Center is today. Even before Harlem, San Juan Hill was one of the first African American neighborhoods in Manhattan. When the African American population eventually shifted uptown, he was reassigned to Harlem.
The West 68th Street precinct took in 59th Street to 86th Streets, Central Park West to the river. That was the San Juan Hill area. Just west of Amsterdam Avenue was mostly Negro. East of Amsterdam Avenue was generally Irish. South of 65th Street, it was a mixture, but generally Irish. The Negroes lived, as I say, on the west side and down the hill from Amsterdam Avenue. There is still a hill there now.
What a difference a century makes. Today, African Americans make up close to 25% of New York City's population and 18% of all police officers. Black, Hispanic, and Asian New Yorkers make up almost 48% among all ranks. Despite aggressive efforts in places like Central Harlem and the Bronx, recruitment of African Americans in the NYPD continues to decline. This has been African American History is American History. African American History is American History. Copyright H.C. Kearsley, 2025.